and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the book started right for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is an inventor, entrepreneur, public speaker, life and health coach, a management consultant, and of course, an author too, and the author of the book Coffee Addiction and Caffeinism. No other than Mr. Norbert Heuser.
Daniel, thanks a lot for your big introduction. I don't deserve it.
You deserve it, Mr. Norbert, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss? Mr. Norbert,
Yes.
can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Well, I try to keep it short because we don't have so much time. I am, for the last 45 years, in a situation where I specialize myself to help people with food and drug addictions. 45 years ago, I was very sick and I was close to die. And I came across a doctor which saved me within a few weeks. And he diagnosed something which at this time nobody knew anything about, which is food addiction. I had a high food addiction. He saved me, and I was impressed by what he did. I was so much impressed that I asked him whether I could do an internship with him, with the doctor. And this internship then lasted for 1 year, every day except Sunday and Christmas. And what I learned changed my life, changed my health, and changed my perspective of medicine and of addiction.
Well, again, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Norbert. And today, let's talk about your book, Coffee Addiction and Caffeinism. What exactly is a caffeinism and how is it clinically different from a simply enjoying a few cups of coffee a day or having a strong habit?
Well, um, let's quickly, in my work, I then created some theses for the next 45 years. First, let's quickly say what is an addiction? An addiction is a situation where something is stronger than your free will to say no. If you cannot say no, you are addicted. You can be addicted to my thesis, which is the three P's, the letter P's. You can be addicted to a product, which everyone understands, like let's say drug, alcohol, it's a product. You can be addicted to it, which means you cannot say no. It kicks in and it runs your life. You can be addicted to the second P, which is procedure or process. You can be addicted to a process. For example, nowadays you have a lot of people addicted to social media, to cell phones, um, to procedures which they need to have. Take a 15, 18, 25 years old person and take away the cell phone for a day or for a week or the social media. People go crazy. They are strongly addicted to this process. And the third P, you can be addicted to a person, which usually ends up in bad marriages and bad divorces when you're addicted to a person. So the addiction is always stronger than your free will to say no. I dealt a lot with alcoholics, and alcoholics, as the word says, are addicted to alcohol. And then I realized that people can be addicted to coffee. It is not the coffee itself, it's the caffeine in the coffee. And I saw that the mechanics of people coming down with caffeine addiction are the same thing with alcohol. They're jittery, they're nervous, they're aggressive at times if they don't get their fix. They're unpleasant to deal with. And the caffeine, you don't have only in coffee the caffeine, you have it in black tea, green tea, white tea. You have it basically in many most soda pops. You have it high doses in energy drinks, and nowadays more and more hidden in foods and in snacks. So the caffeine is the addiction, not the coffee itself, but the caffeine in the coffee. Does it make sense?
Makes sense. Makes sense. Mister, and how does a caffeine addiction compare neurologically and behaviorally to addictions to substances like alcohol or nicotine? Where is the line between dependency and a true addiction?
Um, Dependency is an addiction. Now, I would like to share the screen here with you, if you would.
Yes, go
Let
ahead.
me share the screen. And where is the screen sharing?
Go to
Uh,
the share at the bottom.
it says mark clip, cam, speaker, react, raise, share, share. Here it is. Now let's see. Hopefully that works. I've never done it on this program you're on. Um, well, there is a no. I cannot share the screen. Um, I must apologize to you because I'm used to work on Zoom. I never worked on Riverside,
No
so
worries at all.
it looks like that I'm missing something here. Um, when I said share screen, it
Go to the
doesn't.
website.
No, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work?
Okay,
Okay.
no, no, no. It's unfortunate because I have a wonderful graphic here that caffeine. There is. It's called. It's in my book. In my book is whatever we discuss. It's in my book more very intense. In my book is a chart, the dependency potential of psychoactive drugs, the dependency potential. And caffeine is in the middle field between alcohol and LSD. Caffeine is higher of psychoactive drugs than LSD and a bit lower than alcohol. And that people don't understand. I understand that people don't understand it. I developed this over years and I confronted a lot of people with it. So it's a high dependency. And it's very simple, Daniel. It's very simple. I'm asking people, are you caffeine addicted and you maybe not even aware of it? Now, what does that mean? Well, you can be aware of it very simple. Let's say you drink two, three, four coffees a day. You drink soda pops, energy drinks, Red Bull, and what have you, right? You
Yes.
drink those drinks and you consume this. I can basically say you are addicted by my experience of 45 years and working with clients, but you can find out for yourself. And when I'm saying these things, it's not to blame you or anybody, it's for you to be aware of it because it has a lot of health consequences, which we get into a minute. So, if you want to find out you're addicted to caffeine, very simple. Tomorrow, you decide for a day, two, three, four, not to consume any caffeine. You stop it. And I can guarantee you that my experience, 95% will not survive 2, 3 days. They get strong withdrawal symptoms and they go back to the caffeine product. Let's say they drink every day two, three, 4 cups of coffee. They cannot stay away from 3, 4, 5 days. After 2 days, usually it's over. And cold turkey, I've seen only a few people who could change cold turkey, very few people. But so you find out, are you addicted to caffeine? Try it for yourself. You don't need to prove it to me or to anybody else. Prove it to yourself. And then you see. And being aware of a problem is half the solution.
To have a solution for sure. Many people don't realize they are dependent until they miss a dose, as what you're talking about. What are the subtle, often misattributed symptoms of caffeine withdrawal that people should look out for?
Well, let me give you some quotes of some study here. Um, Caffeine has been on the list of the Olympic Committee and as a doping product. for 20 years. From 1984 to 2004, the Olympic Committee had caffeine on the doping list. If you were caught with a certain amount of caffeine in your blood, in your body, you were abandoned from Olympic Games. That's how strong caffeine is. The University of Southern Australia has made a test, an analysis with 17,000 participants. That's a huge number of test people. 17,000. They tested these 17,000 people to find out how caffeine affects their health. It proved that caffeine increases the chance of dementia by 50%, 50. And it reduces the sorry, it reduces the gray brain matter of your brain. The gray brain matter of your brain reduces it. And the same study, same results have been found in a study in Switzerland. And in my book, I quote these studies. I have a QR link in my books. And so you can, with a QR link, get to the study, which I didn't pull out of thin air. This is serious studies. The uh, from Cosa de Compella University in Spain, they found out that expecting mothers drinking caffeine, the likelihood of an early birth is big, and that the baby has less weight than it should have, and the cartilage of the baby has not fully developed. These studies are there, and I quote them in my book. These are all dangerous effects of caffeine.
Mr. Norbert, is there a specific a daily milligrams of caffeine threshold where use typically tips overdose abuse, or is it more individualized?
No. Um, you see, you cannot be a bit pregnant. You are pregnant or not pregnant. Your question would be similar if you have a son who consumes crack, and you would ask me, well, how much crack can I allow him to use every day to stay healthy? And you would laugh at me. Crack is crack. You cannot say, oh, okay, take only 10 milligrams instead of 30, and it's going to be healthy. It sounds harsh, but it's a simple fact. Poison is poison, and caffeine is poisoning to your body. Whether you take a little bit or a little bit more or much more, it doesn't matter. You cannot be a bit pregnant. You're pregnant or not pregnant. And I know what I'm saying. I'm doing this for 45 years. And I myself, in all my life, I never drank coffee, never, and hardly any caffeine. And I never took drugs. I'm not a holy person. I'm not a monk. Um, but this happened to be in my life. So I warned in my over 200 seminars, I warned people from the stage, please stay away from caffeine. And then when the COVID shutdown came, I could not give seminars, classes anymore for 2 years. So I decided in this period, I turned myself into a volunteer caffeine addicted person, voluntarily. I wanted to find out how does it work. And only after this I wrote the book, after I found all this out. So I drank every day 1 cup for 30 days. I said, okay, I make a test for 30 days. I drink every day only 1 cup of coffee. And after 30 days to stop. The 31st day, I still found myself in the drive-in getting another cup of coffee. Said, well, one day doesn't matter, right? The second day, well, 2 days doesn't matter, right? And I had my experience with alcoholics, my clients. An alcoholic would drink on a rainy day saying, it's such a shitty weather, I got to have some fun and I drink some alcohol. If the next day the sun is shining, the alcoholic says, well, it's such a beautiful weather, we got to celebrate and drink something. They have always an excuse, a justification. And so I found myself in a situation that I said, look, you are like the alcoholics now. You're looking for another excuse. And I said, well, why didn't I say I drink for 60 days coffee? Why did I cut it to 30 days? And I found myself within the first week of trying to stop, I couldn't stop. I was addicted. And it took me 2 months to get off coffee. 2 months. While, of course, only one cup of coffee is not a lot. And most coffee drinkers or caffeine drinkers drink more than one drink a day. So there is no a little bit of coffee and you're fine and you're healthy. No, it doesn't work that way.
Mr. Norbert, we all know about the coffee jitters. What are the more serious, lesser known psychological effects of caffeineism on the body and such on the adrenal glands, digestive system, and cardiovascular health?
Yes. So we got to go quickly back in history. You may find this strange, but let me go back in history real quick. Um, we have, in by nature, as you mentioned, the adrenaline glands. We have a normal level of
Okay.
adrenaline.
No more fish.
We have a normal level of adrenaline, which we need to live healthy. The adrenaline glands are on top of the kidneys, and 50,000 years ago, when we faced a saber-toothed tiger, we were scared to death. When we are scared to death, the body, God given, gives you an extra adrenaline level push because you now need power through the wazoo to either fight the tiger or run away. In either case, you needed power which you normally can never create. And in this stress of being afraid to die, the adrenaline glands produce adrenaline level through the roof. And this gives you the power which you need. Now, when let's say you fought the tiger successfully, and after an hour or two, your adrenaline level came down to normal again. Okay, the situation is over. And that happened once a month, once half a year, whatever, it doesn't matter. It was once in a while. And this is called stress. People don't understand stress. This is stress. Stress creates a higher level of adrenaline in your body. Now, and this gives you power. It pumps up your heart, your lungs, your heart rate is faster. And now, what happens, God given, God said, if you fight for a tiger, you don't think about sex. You're not hungry anymore. You're not thirsty anymore. You're not sleepy anymore because you need all the power now to fight. And we cut down our regular organs and regular level in our bodies of functions and of glands, and these are reduced and cut, which means the body doesn't work anymore in a regular way. So, fast forward to coffee. What does it have to do with coffee? Caffeine imitates that feeling of death to the adrenaline glands, which means the caffeine pushes the adrenaline glands to a level which is the same like being afraid of death. And this level is out of your control. You cannot control it. It happened. Even if you don't have a deathly situation, which hardly anybody of us has in our daily lives. So the caffeine puts you in the same situation like you would be fear of death, means an explosive volume of adrenaline. And of course, now what happens is that people say, which is true, I need in the morning a coffee to get going, to get my power. Or when I'm tired, I drink coffee and I'm not tired anymore. If I work a lot, I drink coffee or caffeine products and I'm not tired anymore. Yes, it's true. It's true. It gives you the extra power. But the price of it is that your health getting damaged more and more and more.
How does chronic high dose caffeine consumption mimic or exacerbate anxiety disorder, and how many people are misdiagnosed or over medicated as a result?
Well, the statistics there are very small. I gave you some examples what the universities found out, like 50% increase of dementia when you drink caffeine, 50% increase. Nowadays, Mr. Kennedy is trying to find out what the autism creates what creates autism in children. You may have heard that in the news all the time. Now, I'm not saying caffeine is the only reason, but I say caffeine is a main contributing reason for autism. Why? As we said, the study showed that the gray brain matter reduces by 50%. Now, if a pregnant woman, whatever she eats and drinks, she shares with the baby, there's no question. Now, if with an adult, the gray brain matter is reduced by 50%, what do you think does it do to an unborn child in the body of a mother? It reduces the gray brain matter, maybe a potential contributing cause for autism. I'm pretty convinced I'm the only person who says that for now. I haven't heard anybody else saying that, but I don't care. I'm the only person. It's nothing else than logic. It's nothing else than logic. You cannot control poison in your body, you cannot switch it off. And of course, we all agree crack is a poison, heroin is a poison. We all say that. Fentanyl is a poison. But coffee and sugar are the most widest spread drugs in the world. There are no more drugs more widespread than coffee and sugar, but as they are socially accepted and legally not a problem, it's the most dangerous drugs because it's not controlled.
Mr. Norbert, even if you can fall asleep, how does caffeine destroy the quality of your sleep by disturbing a deep sleep and REM cycles, creating a virus cycle of fatigue?
Well, I do various shows like we do today. I have one show which is called The 19 Causes for Bad Sleep. I looked into this because people have more and more sleep problems left and right when you talk to people. So, the 19 causes for bad sleep. And one of the causes is caffeine. If you drink in the morning, 8 o'clock, a cup of coffee, the caffeine in that cup will take about 20 hours to get out of your system. And of course, if you drink caffeine during the day and late in the evening as well, the adrenaline production is up. You every time pump up the adrenaline production in your body, which means you have more power, a higher heart rate, and you have a problem to fall asleep. It's very logical. Now, a big other problem is with the adrenaline level. An associate of mine in Germany has a private cancer clinic, and they found out that all their cancer patients, which you may have never heard what I'm saying now, all the cancer patients have no normal, regular adrenaline levels because through this permanent chronic stress of the people having cancer, the adrenaline glands are worn out. They're sluggish. They don't produce any more regular adrenaline. If you go tomorrow to doctors, I guarantee you 99% of the doctors have no idea about this. So the adrenaline wears out your adrenaline glands. Sorry, the caffeine wears out your adrenaline glands, and a big effect of health long term in all kinds of areas. And it takes just too long to get out of your system.
Interesting, Mr. Norbert. And is it a goal for everyone to become completely caffeine free, or is it there a way to establish in a healthy, sustainable relationship with caffeine? And what does it look like?
Well, when I wrote the book, it became clear to me what coffee does to your body. Then I wrote the book. And it's clear to me if you have a established coffee drinker and in the morning he drinks his coffee for breakfast, a lot of people say, otherwise I cannot start the day, which is admitting that they buy in the energy with a high price. So it was clear to me you cannot say to a coffee drinker, you got to stop drinking coffee and have in the morning your croissant, your sandwich with a glass of water. That doesn't fly. So I came across in America a company called Mana Brew, Mannabrew, Mana Brew. And this Mana Brew company makes a drink which I would call a great replacement for coffee. So instead of coffee, you drink this drink, which is by taste, by smell, by texture, very much like a coffee. It's a substitution for coffee without caffeine. Without caffeine. And I strongly recommend if somebody wants to test it and tries to get out of it, try this drink. I'm not involved with this company. I don't have any financial benefits. I'm just trying to give my clients an alternative to get out of coffee. And this is the best alternative I've found. Nowadays, a lot of advertising is done for mushroom coffee, and they give you the impression there is no caffeine in. In these few mushroom coffee brands, I looked in and I read between the lines and the fine print, they still have caffeine in the coffee. And what you have caffeine free coffee still has caffeine in the coffee.
What is the most surprising or counterintuitive research finding you came across while writing this book?
Well, the big problem for me was that people are not willing to confront the situation. They don't want to know about it. They are ignoring it. They're in denial. And my job is to try to make people more healthy, to try for them to live longer and more healthy. The problem is a lot of people live long but spend the last 10 years in an assisted home, attached to a bed or to a chair. That's for me not life. Life has something to do with quality, with being active, with living, but not with sitting somewhere waiting to die. So people must make a decision. Do I want to improve my health condition? If so, you have to confront what's going on. Now, you can accept what I'm saying or don't. Now, in any case, I recommend to you to read my book. It's not for me selling the book. There's so much information which we cannot cover here in this show. There's so much information, you will be blown away. And even um, if you can get rid of caffeine, if you have children, grandchildren, mothers, brothers, sisters, you may want to offer them the knowledge to try to preserve them from running into this dead end street. And especially if you have babies and children. Look, what does a typical 3, 4 year old child in America consume? A lot of fast food, French fries, and Coke products. And in the Coke products is caffeine. And I call caffeine as the gateway to a world of drugs. The baby most likely has been fed by the mother in the womb with caffeine. With the age of 2, 3 year old, they start to drink soda pops, and they are on the gateway to live in a drug world because it's a drug. From there to go into deeper drugs is a very short step. So try to improve your life by knowledge. You don't believe me or not, it's not important. Read the book, it's all in there. And when you read the book once, you can't deny it. The consequences, everybody has to decide. But try as well to understand what addiction is and help others with addiction. You can't be a father drinking 5 beers a day and you are addicted to beer. You don't confess it. You're not a full alcoholic. And at the same time, be mad with your son if he takes dope, if he takes crack. It's they're all addictive products, and all cause your health in a different, more intense or less intense level, more or less expensive.
Mr. Norbert, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 review, Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Norbert, finally, what what is the single most significant benefit of mental, physical, or emotional that people report after successfully overcoming caffeineism?
They are very happy about, they're very proud of themselves. You see, when I worked with alcoholics, an alcoholic today, when he drinks, tomorrow, an alcoholic swears by God he will never drink again, and he believes it. But then the addiction kicks in. And the biggest problem I found with people like the alcoholics was that they lose self confidence and self respect. Their self esteem goes down the drain. They have no more self respect because they're every day losing the battle. If somebody gets rid of an addiction like this caffeine addiction, they're very proud of themselves because they have overcome their barriers. And natural energy is needed. You get natural energy by having good sleep, truly healthy water. Most people drink bad water, which is one of my topics I teach as well. Most people drink bad water. Most people um, more or less eat unhealthy food. Um, they're not enough out in the sunshine, in the open air and the fresh air. They're too much inside the house. I call it living in a fridge, living like in a jail. So if you want to have energy, be kind to people, create energy by giving to others, by sharing with others. You win an energy which you cannot substitute with coffee or with any other drug. You live a healthy life, and a healthy life, good life, gives you the energy you need to get up in the morning without having a drug to wake up and make it through the day.
Mr. Norbert Heuser, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your book, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Well, you can go on my website, which is improveyourlife.us, which you can easily remember. Everybody should improve their life. Improveyourlife.us. You find my book there on the website. It's $16.50, $3, $4 shipping. For $20, you have the book. And on my website are a lot of interviews, a lot of talk shows, a lot of webinars, and a lot of other topics. I talk about the danger of cell phones. I talk about the problems of bad sleep. I talk about the effects of bad effects, health effects of tattoos and piercings. So I'll talk about these subjects and I give information, and you listen to it, and then you decide what I'm saying makes sense or not. Improveyourlife.us.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Norbert Hauser because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering books like this to come. So, Mr. Norbert, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Monica, people, see you soon.